Alright people, this is the Union Tapes episode number 29, and we whip forward a little from the last episode into the 90s. This week we've got Dan Price, who sprung into the media spotlight in the early to mid 90s, and we trace his usual steps through BMX, growing up in South London, and the spots that he rode in and around that area, getting sponsored, the troubles of being sponsored, early BMX jams, riding the skate park in Spitalfields, London, which is quite a rare one. Not many people rode there. Riding big jams, big contests, flying to the US for various different road trips, riding for metal bikes, riding for Hoffman bikes, discovering South Bank, his early influences, moving to Hastings, and pretty much everything else. This is a little bit of a different path that Dan takes through his journey to most of the other guys, and it's pretty interesting finding out his viewpoint on some of the stuff in BMX now and then. So enjoy it. Right, I'm good to go if you are.
Yeah.
Just give us a quick bit of born and raised interest as a kid, sort of just the early stuff.
Early?
Yeah.
Okay, I was born in Woolwich and grew up in Bexley.
Okay. So South London,
South
basically,
London,
yeah.
Well, it's Bexley, Kent, but it's London Borough,
Woolwich.
Bexley. So it's
So
right
Woolwich, Woolwich is South London, right? And Bexley's like just
it's south
going
east,
out a little bit, yeah.
South east London, yeah.
Okay.
Probably as far out as you could go and still be London.
All right.
Yeah. And then what did I do? I pretty much rode bikes from like when I could.
Little kids' bikes, like Strikers or...
No,
like,
before that, I had some... My mum's got a photo of me doing a jump in the back garden, with like a door post with a little plank of wood going up.
Okay.
And I had to do no footers because it was just fixed.
I kept going, yeah. Okay.
Having some like crazy plastic, like kind of police visor.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah. It was like a clear thing that you
Yeah, with one of them on. And then I went, as I got older, Strikers and that's pretty much, and climbing trees and falling out of them and jumping in the river and
larking about as a youngster.
Yeah. Always out.
Was there any interest you had like in that early period of life further than just like messing about, or was you just...
No, nothing serious.
Okay.
No, but we were always out, on our bikes.
Yeah.
Jumping curbs.
About local woods and stuff.
Yeah, but that wasn't until later. But when I was little, But there was jumps down the woods. There was some jumps, and I think that's probably when I was a little bit older. But they looked like they'd been built by people that used to ride. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had kind of worn down. And there was one by the river, and we just used to launch out of it. You'd get a twig and see how far you could jump.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Do all that. And other things I did. I used to do gymnastics when I was junior school, and just anything physical really.
Yeah. Okay. Probably helped for later on, didn't it? Yeah. I dare say. And so like when BMX came about, can you remember when BMX came out? Because you were saying you couldn't really remember exactly when you got into it.
No,
you can't remember seeing it on TV or like...
I remember BMX Beat.
Okay.
And there was kids round our way on BMXs, and I did want a BMX, and I got one.
Yeah.
And it was a BMX Magnum, and I think it was one of those ones that you order from the newspaper.
Okay.
And I just used to keep snapping the stems all the time.
All right.
I remember my dad having to send it back and then get another one. Send it back, get another one. And it had them awful grips. They were just like plastic, and they'd come out at an angle. Do you know the ones like
Yeah,
really
like a
old?
ski grip.
Yeah.
Wrapped over the they were copy Oakley Freeze. Oakley made a grip that had basically was a ski pole grip,
Right.
and that was what all them BMXs were copying.
Yeah. And they would just muller your hands.
Yeah, rock solid.
Hard. Yeah. So at that point, I don't know whether he lived there then, but there was a kid a couple of doors down, and he raced.
Okay.
He was a racer, and he had a fly-off ramp. So we used to take that down the park at the back.
All right.
And just launch off it. But I didn't. I think then as well there was a BMX track at Barnhurst.
All right.
And I went there a few times. And I remember this the other day. I got a. What was it? Halfords used to do that. They used to have their own sort of race brand. They did jerseys.
Like
Track Pro or something. What was it called? I don't know.
Was it called Tracks? It might have been Track Star or something.
Something like that.
Not because they did the bikes, Halford's turbo bikes, didn't they? But I remember the full uniform they used to do.
Yeah. So I had the jersey.
Let me turn this off. Yeah.
I had the jersey, and I remember getting a crash helmet for it as well. It was black, and it was a full face, but the full face bit was just foam.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember.
Which wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
So I remember I did all that, and then I don't know what would have. Yeah, it was just did that really.
Yeah.
Just jumping.
What was the? If you remember what bike the kid had the race bike?
Diamondback.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Chrome and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the bike, mate. That would have been a posh bike back then. And so, do you reckon you took a break after that period?
Yeah, like I said, I can't really remember. I remember all that, and then so that would have been junior school, and so I don't know whether I would have looked at when did BMX action bike start turning into rad?
87.
So 87, because I remember. So maybe I just started getting that when it was starting to have all the freestyle, because there's photos that you've put up in the other podcast, and I had them on my wall.
Oh, you remember them? Yeah.
Like that bottom bracket on the bench.
Oh, yeah, Sid, yeah.
Yeah, I had that on my wall, and I had pictures of Andy Brown and Dave Deane at South Bank.
Okay.
I had all that on I had that on my wall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I must have had but I don't know how late that would have been. That's what I mean, because secondary school I definitely skated a lot, and that was probably because of
RAD.
Yeah, rad. And
yeah.
My friends at school.
Yeah.
They must have skated. And then there was a big skate scene in Sidcup and Bexley Heath, I kind of found out. But yeah, so I probably, I don't know whether I had the Amoco then or that I got that when I started getting back into, I'm not getting back into it, but started thinking, I want to ride BMX.
What can you remember what skateboard you had? That would pin you to it.
My first skateboard was one of those ones they used to sell in the cheapo shops.
Yeah.
The great big round
tail saver. Yeah.
And it had a bear on it, and it was like a forest thing. But then my real proper skateboard was Jason Jesse.
Okay.
Santa Cruz Jason Jesse.
What? Neptune.
Neptune. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's around the same time. I thought if it was an earlier one, you'd be able to pin it to a more precise, like 85 or 86. But Neptune was a bit later as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because we went on holiday. I went on holiday with my mum and dad, and I didn't spend any money because my holiday money was buying that skateboard when I got back.
Oh, where'd you get skateboard stuff from?
Blackfen Cycles.
All right.
Yeah, which is pretty much where I got everything.
That was where you went to buy BMX stuff as well?
Yeah, I ended up working there as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where was that?
Blackfen.
Where's that?
That's if you kind of like coming out of London, like you got Lewisham, then Eltham.
Yeah.
And then it was Avery Hill, then Blackfen.
Oh, okay.
And then it was Penn Hill, Bexley.
And they sold like a whole load of skate stuff as well.
They had skateboards, BMXs, like road bikes, like inline, well, not inlines back then, but
roller skates
and stuff. Yeah, it was a cool shop.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it was really good.
Nice. And so, how did you discover, like, so you got into skating? How did you get out of skating back into BMX? Like, what was you? Were you just skating street, or were you skating ramp? Or?
Yeah, just skating. Well, no, I did have my bike because the guy that I skated with at school. I mean, there was a bunch of us outside of school, but my mate in school, I would stay around his house, and then we would ride to Bromley, and we'd skate the mini ramp at the back of I can't remember what the shop was called. There was a skate shop at the bottom of Bromley in the dip.
I think I know the one you mean.
And there was a mini ramp there, and we used to go there. We used to get the bus there and go there in the daytime and just stand at the bottom while everyone else skated because we couldn't get a look in. And then we ended up riding there a few times in the evening. So I would sneak out of his house and then ride our bikes there.
All right.
Which was, think about it, fucking miles. Yeah.
That's what you did. When there was I think they were just Bromley skates. I think that.
Yeah, it might have been.
I think they sell roller skates as well. I think back then.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've got a picture of a roller skate with Bromley something on it. Yeah.
It ended up there was loads of shops there, and then it just ended up they all started getting demolished.
Okay.
And it was like the last thing left there.
Oh, right.
And so behind it there was loads of disused ground, and they built a mini ramp there at some point.
Was that ever in
and I probably
RAD, you think?
Might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't know. But I definitely would have rode that.
Yeah.
Like if we rode there.
Yeah.
So. But just, carving.
Yeah. So what standard did you reach in skating?
I got into freestyle skating.
Oh, really? Yeah? Freestyle?
Yeah.
Oh, way.
Yeah.
On the Jason Jesse board or on a dip?
No.
You had a freestyle setup?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Per Wellender.
Okay,
That was the first one I had anyway.
All right.
And then I ended up meeting some guys up South Bank, and it was called, what was it called? Fist. Freestyling street terrain.
Okay.
And there was a comp there, and there was like about 80 people in it, and I come 8th.
Oh, really? Yeah. So you was pretty good at it, yeah.
Well, I must have been.
Yeah.
Who
else? Do you remember the other skaters?
I can't remember. No, I can't remember. But there was one guy. So that's when I started going up South Bank. Was when I skated, and then there was just a group of freestylers up there, and I just ended up hanging out with them, and did that. So I got my name in Rad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they covered it.
I'll probably be able to find it. Yeah.
I didn't get a picture or anything. But
what year is this? Like 87 or 88?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Try and find it. Yeah. Oh man. And then so you was into freestyle skating, and you went from freestyle skating back into BMX, I assume. Or was there anything else that?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I probably did the skating, and then at the same time at school, we got a band together, and then we did that for a while, and then like a thrash metal band.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, I didn't know that.
It was my first music. My first album was Master of Puppets.
All right.
Yeah, and then so we had a thrash metal band, and then we grew our hair long and got hassle from. So that was before, and then Happy Mondays come out, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the other kids started growing their hair long.
Yeah, okay.
It didn't matter about us anymore, so that was quite cool.
So you got grief from local scenes because you look different?
Well, just at school really, going to an all-boys school was just,
okay.
Hurstmere Secondary School was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Like sort of a few generations, like when the punks were about, it was like a war zone there apparently.
Oh, okay.
They used to beat up the headmaster and everything.
Oh,
it was like very hardcore. And then but I had airwalks. I used to wear airwalks to PE, and they were ones with I had C&D signs all over them.
Yeah, I remember that shoe.
Yeah. So skating and I suppose riding would have been there in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it kind of changed the band, and then I sold my bass to get cranks, like to get the flight cranks.
Okay.
So I must have at some point crossed back over.
Yeah. Well, how far did the band go? Like, did you play any gigs or anything? You're quite young at this point, so.
Yeah. No, I left because I got into riding.
Okay.
And then, properly, that's like probably the first time I would have said I was
A BMX guy, yeah.
And I sold it all, and then bought the cranks, and then they did end up having gigs. They stayed together.
What were they called?
Anti-Massacre.
Anti-Massacre.
Yeah.
Okay. How far? Like what? Local gigs, or they support anyone? Or
No, I don't think so. Just
Okay.
like a few local
cool,
gigs
man.
and stuff.
That's good though.
Yeah.
So the bass got sold to buy some. Where did the cranks come from?
Would have been Blackman Cycles.
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're
everything-
proper, yeah.
Everything came from there. Yeah, so I would have had my Amico then. Amico. And I had... And when it came with white spokes, I didn't want them, I wanted mags. So I got white Acorn mags on it.
All right.
And then purple tyres to go with the purple stickers.
Okay,
The frame was
yeah.
white. And had them horrible handlebars that with like a double top tube.
Yeah, the sort of the mouth sort of shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a copy Skyway. Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. So yeah, I had that, and then I just added to that.
And what was it? Who was you riding with then at that stage of the game?
So yeah, that would have been Scott, I suppose, and then just local kids really.
Well, was the local scene pretty good for BMX there? Was it Scott Spencer?
Yeah,
And what about Darren Claggett? Was he from over there?
I did ride with him, but that was like later on.
Okay.
At some point, him and Ben was it used to ride, and then later on I used to ride with people from Gravesend, but that's later on as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, at first it would have been Scott, and then he introduced. I think it was him that introduced me to Tim Goldie,
Okay.
and then it was on really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what was Tim? He's from Orpington or Bromley or something.
Orpington.
Orpington,
Yeah.
okay.
Crack's Bottom, I think.
Okay.
It was just outside Orpington.
All right.
So we used to ride up there and ride street, and then go up London, go South Bank, like
Train to South Bank.
yeah,
Like
It's
crew.
only like half hour.
Yeah. What was that like? You, Tim, Scott,
I think we'd meet Tim up there because it would be a different line.
line. Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure there must have been some other people, but I can't
Yeah.
remember.
What about Matt Williams? Was he in this crew or was he come later?
He's later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then like, so how did that progress? Like, you must have found at one point, like you found that scene, and then obviously you're going South Bank. You found Young's at some point, which is like one of the core shops. How did you find Young's?
I don't know. We rode there as well, which was another massive massive bike trip, and it would have been like other people saying, "Oh, there's a shop, Young's. Let's go there." Like, all right then, let's ride there.
Yeah.
So just basically ride to what was it, Lewisham, wasn't it?
Lewisham, yeah.
Ride there. So yeah, it must have been young then because like why we didn't get the train, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Do you remember it, Young's? It was pretty
Kind
pretty
of.
good.
It was like on the-
2 sections.
Yeah, and like, just loads of stuff.
Yeah. But they did skateboard stuff as well, didn't they? Remember?
Yeah,
They did, but like quite heavy. There was loads of BMX and there was loads of skateboard and there was also normal bikes in there.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
it was-
they did. Maybe I was working at the bike shop then, or maybe I don't know. That was. I left school like after the sixth form, and then I got a job at Pizza Hut, and I did my training in Eltham, and that's how I met James White. So that's
Okay.
what, like 90.
Yeah.
And then I'd ride to Elton's, do my training, and then ride home on my Amoco. And I had dyno bars and a core bash guard by then.
Oh, so that's later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's how I met James.
Okay. How many times did you go to Young's though?
Probably only like 2 or 3.
Okay.
But then one, like, you know, I said to you about meeting Andy Brown.
Yeah.
And he bought the drive box off me.
The grip box.
To put tapes in.
I remember he had loads of those boxes. Yeah.
Right.
He probably did that to quite a few kids there.
Yeah.
So he was working behind the counter.
Yeah. So figure that out into your timeline.
I would guess 88, 89. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That would make sense.
Because them grips probably 89ish.
Yeah, they were always advertising the American magazines.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they seem cool.
Yeah,
They were
good grips. Yeah. So then, like you now you're in it. You've got your Amoco. What was after the Amoco? Because that bike couldn't have lasted that long if you're putting bash guards on it.
Certainly, after I put the bash guard on, it just crushed the chainstays, just mullered them. So I think by then.
But where did you get the idea for the bash guard? Like,
it must have been.
Did you not have a sprocket guard first or something, or did you go straight to a bash guard?
No, I didn't have a sprocket pocket.
And
I did, like, in the end.
Yeah, later on. Who's riding, made you ride street? Tim and those guys? Or did you see it through the mags and stuff?
It must have been magazines and skate videos as well, I suppose. Like Streets of Fire, like the Santa Cruz thing, and Public Domain. Like the beginning of Public Domain, you know, when they just skate, it's like black and white. Just skating along and doing stuff. Like that, must have really resonated.
Future Primitive had some good stuff like that as well, which wasn't black and white, but it was just like...
Yeah, just
going along exciting,
and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we'd put that on before we went out, like if we were skating or riding.
Yeah.
Like, that would just put that on, watch the beginning bit, and just
get
go
inspired,
out.
Yeah.
Go down the road and be like, pick up our boards and then walk somewhere else. But, yeah. So, yeah, it must have been, BMX Plus? Would that have been around then? What American mags would have been?
Yeah, BMX Plus, freestyling.
Yeah, freestyling.
RAD would have still been about.
Yeah, so I don't know why I got... Oh, and like I said to you, about that picture of that Junkyard Jim.
Yeah.
Like, that is like my first memory of street.
Unconventional BMX. Really,
yeah, because even though like well earlier, you know, I got the jersey and the helmet and stuff. Like, I suppose after skating or what have you, I don't know when I got that book, but I probably got it when I was younger, and then just forgot about it. Then after the skating, probably found it again, and then saw that, and it's just, you know, all helmets and
race gear,
all that sort of stuff, and it was just then I just saw that and was just like, yes, look, he's in a kick turn on like corrugated irons, wearing jeans, and that's, and all the magazines as well. I mean, I didn't really like all the gnarly coloured, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
But yeah, I suppose that was like the earliest.
Because on that spread, there's like two guys doing like endos on a curve as well, and that spread is like different to the rest of the whole rest of the book is different. It's all
completely different.
Factory stuff. Yeah. But that's crazy that you remember that from that. That book was 83. That's when it says on the book was printed. So
right.
You know.
I don't know when I would have got it. I would probably got it for like a Christmas present or a birthday present or something like that. But yeah, that is sort of etched in my brain, that picture. So even though I had, over the years, it changed. It had changed a little bit. But what bike's he on? Like a Torque? Is it a Kalara?
I think it might be a Kalara.
Yeah, I knew that, and I knew there was some. I thought he had like a red sort of like body warmer on, but I think he's just got a red jacket on.
Somebody else asked me about that photo once as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, Quora stickers with a red line pack.
Oh yeah, it says about it, doesn't it?
that's kind of like that's prolific as well, isn't it?
Yeah, find the curb. Yeah, because the rest of it's just all. Yeah, it is just racing. Oh yeah, I remember that.
How to
air.
Well, can you remember hitting your first quarter pipe?
I don't think I ever rode a quarter pipe.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. That, yeah.
That's one of the things that I've thought about. High bunny hops. One of the things I've thought about, like watching these, is how I just wasn't really interested in any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It was just jumping and.
Okay. That's
I never like BMXB or something.
Yeah, same. No, I thought it was terrible. I watched it all, but because I was into BMX. But I remember like just being like, "What is this? Like, this is not looking good." Like,
when you've talked to people, like I suppose like the generation before us, I don't know, what are we like, second generation?
Yeah,
or
probably. Yeah.
How you said, "Oh, I was there."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just imagined like a little John Dye just be like nibbling about.
Yeah, I went to like, King of the Skate Parks. I was at a few things like that, and that was like, yeah.
But that never really would have. Yeah.
I think that maybe when you got into it, it was like mostly racing, and a quarter pipe was quite early, and then like where you missed it was the quarter pipe days, and you got back in, and that was kind of. It was already heading towards street and like
probably
and kind of thrashing about more, like that's what it sounds like anyway.
Yeah,
because to not really wanted to go, let's go and ride a quarter pipe. That was like one of the huge like things when
because James had one.
Yeah,
like he used to ride quarter pipes and all that sort of stuff back then.
But do you know if he's probably lost the quarter pipe when he got out of riding for that short period of time?
Yeah, probably.
Probably just took it down, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't even. Yeah.
Well, I'd seen pictures of him like doing airs and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah. I know that he's brought it up in an interview that I've seen before.
Right.
So yeah, what was the bike after the Amico? Can you remember it?
So after the Amico, I would have known James. Then.
Okay, so you're hanging with James White now.
Yeah.
Or.
Well, everybody.
He's in the crew.
Well, yeah, it was like a bit separate at first.
Okay.
Like I'd ride with like Scott and those people.
Where was James living?
He lived in Avery Hill, which was between Blackfen and Elton.
Yeah.
So a little bit further into London. But I'd ride up there and ride with him, and because he was just. I met him, coming back from Pizza Hut, the training.
Yeah.
I would ride past his house, not that I knew.
Yeah.
And then he'd seen me a couple of times ride past because he lived in a close, so he must have been like
out front
doing
riding flatland or something. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. And then I'm riding back home, and as you get into Blackfen, there was a shop, and it had. It didn't have a step. It just had a concrete bank going into it with like two steep bits either side.
All right.
And I just jumped off. I used to jump it every day.
Yeah.
Like, wondering whether anyone was going to step out, And then so I did that, and then I heard "Oi!" And then I sort of turned around, and James came up to me and was like, "Oh, do you ride BMX?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, cool!" Like, and then that's how we met up. And then we arranged to meet at Chiz and Sid's school, which was next to mine, and that had banks in it. We used to go there and skate it.
All right.
And I remember him doing a alley-oop 270 on the bank. Just a little bungee.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Whoa, cool!
Yeah.
Like, this dude's good." And and just from there, really.
Yeah, I went in from there.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, so I worked at Pizza Hut for a year, so that was. And then I worked at Blackfen Cycles for about 4 or 5 years.
All right.
And then that's when I got everything that I wanted to get. So that was good.
Oh, who did you have to deal? Did you have to order in the BMX stuff at Blackfen Cycles?
I was more of a mechanic.
Okay.
It was good fun. There was a guy, Stuart, who used to race, The manager was a guy named Paul. He didn't ride bikes, funnily enough. I think he was I think he roller skated.
Okay.
And yeah, Stuart. And then Mick, the guy that owned the shop, he was like an old school roadie.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we had loads of. We had all those, you know, on the GTs, like the complete GTs. Like we had loads of those in there, I think. And yeah, we had some good stuff. But then I'd just see stuff and see if we could get it off Shiners or.
That's who he's doing, Shiners.
Shiners among others, yeah. But I remember Shiners.
Shiners, Hot Wheels probably as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And what could you BMX on the decline at this stage, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know because it was never on the decline for me.
Yeah, okay. If you'd not seen that boom, like yeah.
The first time I realised that was like watching Ride On, and it starts off like BMX is dead.
Yeah, okay.
I was like,
Then that's quite a bit later as well. That's crazy. You didn't even know that it was like dwindled down. I suppose if you could, maybe if you're in a local scene with like a few people, it don't seem that bad.
It wasn't until like later on when we used to ride up Bexley Heath all the time, and this is when like met up with loads of. There was a big skate scene up there, and James would go up there, ride the flatland in the civic office's car park. I mean, we must have been up there for like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Just like really ride Bexley Heath.
Just doing your thing.
Yeah, all the time. And then at one point, it was like there was tons of people. It was insane. Like
skating as well, though.
Skaters and like mainly riders, though.
Oh, right.
And then that all dwindled off.
Yeah.
So that's the only sort of like little decline that I saw. Really.
Okay.
But otherwise, I didn't really pay much attention.
Wasn't that aware of it?
No, because there was always a BMX mag. I suppose.
Well, that would have been Invert, though, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, because I did get a BMX action bike, obviously, and then that went over into Rad, didn't it?
Yeah.
Slowly. And the BMX just got smaller and smaller, didn't it? Until it didn't exist anymore. And then, so I remember all that, and then, I don't know really. So this is what I said, like, these early days, really early, it's just, I only remember specific things, and I can't put it all together, like, in the order.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah,
so.
no worries. And then, like, so Black Fen, did that just keep going? Like, that just kept going regardless, and it was still selling BMX stuff.
Because it did roller skates and skateboards, and it did all that sort of
as well.
Stuff. Yeah.
Did the BMX sales, like, whilst you were there, did they dwindle back, or they just was the same?
I don't think so.
You didn't really recognise it, no?
No, not really. I mean, I think there was a big like roller skate scene, like roller hockey.
Okay.
Like round that way.
Yeah.
And there was like teams in every little.
Oh, right.
And it was just where everyone came to
That
get
was thriving, yeah.
And then we had all the like cheap bikes and kids' bikes. So the shop was always.
The shop was good, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of skaters. We sold loads of boards.
Yeah.
Loads of boards.
It was booming though, wasn't it? Like late 80s was massive.
You'd go in and then there'd be all the bikes either side, and then there was a staircase that went upstairs, and all the boards would be on that.
Yeah.
And then there'd be boards on the wall, and we used to get 3 tons of them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
And then like, so then as you're going on, this must have been like when the sort of Dirt Brothers influence is coming in.
Yeah.
Am I too early for that, or is that's coming in now? Because it's like late 80s, early 90s was when that started kind of creeping up, right?
So I would have only seen pictures in like the
American mags, yeah.
Because the shop, the newsagents down the road, still like it sold all those.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So I could I just remember getting BMX Plus. So. And maybe freestyle.
Because I'd say Dirt Brothers was a big influence on you at that point. I remember you had that bike setup and stuff. was very similar, and the tricks and stuff you could tell. Like
Yeah. I just basically rinsed their tricks.
Yeah.
Like Vic Murphy and Pete Augustin.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
they were like your big.
I didn't really
influences.
like. I didn't really like the style of the other riders. Like they didn't really appeal to me. But like
What the other riders in the Dirt Brothers?
Yeah,
or just
yeah,
other
yeah.
riders. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad Blanchard, no.
no, I didn't
Oh,
like his
crazy.
style. No. You know, I like what he did, but
Yeah.
like, you know, I didn't realise at the time that's what it was. But like the whole reason why I learned tabletops was because of Vic Murphy.
Yeah.
And Augustin. Just
And that would have that like expressive sort of aggro style as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Both of those guys for
I
like.
I watched some Dirt Brothers like a little while back, and I completely forgot about Vic Murphy's rollback. So I just used to be like,
Yeah.
really up straight, just looking straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny. But yeah, just really like aggro, I suppose. Oh, I remember that Craig Grasso interview in where he does the all ride to tabletop out. I don't know
Okay.
what magazine that would have been in. That was in.
It was
though,
in
wasn't
black. Yeah, it was a big,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a black and white picture.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, all that stuff. But yeah, Dirt Brothers were and Vic Murphy were big.
They were the main influences. Yeah.
So after my going back to the Amoco, because I knew James then, I think I probably would have got like hand-me-downs basically from him. I remember I had a Bully 2 at one point,
All right.
and before that I might have had an old TA, which I didn't like in the
Yeah.
slightest.
Okay.
And it was really, really short. I was just like, what is this? It's tiny, but I'm not exactly small. So yeah, and just used to just bits and bobs and stuff like that. Yeah, like just mags and crappy spoked wheels.
Mag wheels. Yeah. I remember you always run a mag on the mag on the front for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
That seemed Dirt Brothers-esque as well. What other Dirt Brothers moves did you emulate? The foot plant as well was one of yours, wasn't it? The seat grab.
Seat grab foot plants.
Yeah.
And then chainring grinds and just yeah, all
All of the Vic Murphy one-footed flatty. That was.
Yeah, one foot tabletops.
What, do you do that your regular way or opposite?
No, I do opposite.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So whatever hip is, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Oh, you do that as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was like some kind of.
I don't know why I knew that, but I think I knew that. Yeah.
Because I always thought I did it that way because when I skated, we used to skate to Sig Cup and the floor was really, like the paving slabs were terrible. So I started pushing with my front foot instead of my back foot, so the front would bounce up and down. And so I pushed with my like Mongo or whatever they call it. And then I can't skate normally. You know, I can't push with my back foot.
Okay.
Like, if I try and skate, I can't do it. And I thought if I pushed with my back foot, then I would have tabletopped to one-footed
Okay.
my normal way.
I've never even thought about that. Yeah.
But I just
So
assumed,
you've got a lot of weight on your foot that's on the pedal. By the
No,
sounds
it's-
of it.
when I tabletop, one foot, yeah, it's just my front foot that comes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got them. No, it's just the skating,
Yeah.
like making the board so it would bounce and go over the bumps, which is why I pushed with my front foot. So it would.
Well, you think that's where that come from?
That's what I thought.
Okay.
I didn't realise
No,
other people
yeah,
did
maybe
that.
it did, but like, yeah, that's an interesting route. Yeah.
I didn't realise other people did that.
Yeah.
Because I can't. That's the foot that I take off. If I do a one foot, it's that foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That was more of a later thing. You was doing it before me. So.
Right.
Yeah. And do you remember who else? Was there anyone else that like emulated that sort of Dirt Brothers style? Or was you?
Who I rode with?
Yeah. That's what I thought. Because I don't remember. Maybe Scott had a TA possibly at one point, but
Yeah. Scott had.
he didn't
He
do
had
that sort of.
pristine, shiny bikes.
Yeah. He wasn't doing that sort of stuff. And James White was he mostly riding flatland now?
Yeah, just.
So
solid.
he's off on a journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys, when did you guys start going South Bank to ride street? Like, you didn't go to the South Bank Jam in '88, no?
No, I doubt it.
You just saw it in the mag, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one where?
That's the one.
Brown 360s.
Yeah. No, that's That's 1990.
Oh, it might have been there then, because I think
you might be in the background in some
I might have
pictures.
seen that. I might have seen him do that.
That was when it was fully desolate. So the 88 one was the one with Andy Brown, Dave Deane, Shaun Allinson,
right?
Them picks in RAD, and then
with the no-handed fakie on the right,
and then the other one was in Invert, which was he's doing the free down the stairs, which was 1990, spring 1990. That was
right.
I have to have a look, see if I can spot you in any of the pics in the background. There weren't many people at that one.
Oh, right. Yeah, I might have, or I might have just, my brain.
Because the 360 down there, he used to do that all the time.
Right. Okay.
And I remember that was like when I saw that for the first time, I was like, "Whoa!" Like that was like fucking mega impressive.
Yeah, 360 down the 7.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. But I've seen footage on YouTube of you riding South Bank, Dirt Brothers era, doing the Dirt Brothers moves. Like
tail whip foot plants.
On the like slope bit. It's not there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like riding that bit.
Yeah.
All rides and stuff like that.
And who was around that scene when you used to go to James White, Scott, Tim, the usual guys? Yeah.
Yeah, them. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because Tim used to do Bubakers on the posts and stuff like that. Or either Bubaker everything. Really.
The square bollards, yeah.
He used to do Bubaker and I'd foot plant.
Oh, right. I think one of them's on there, yeah. And can you remember like the general perception of like Joe Public, what he had of BMX around that era?
Just the usual BMX bandits.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. And then I remember one time me and Scott were riding up to Bexheath and the police stopped us because they thought we'd nicked the bikes off some kids.
Yeah.
So the general perception was we were too old to be riding a bike, which is funny.
Yeah.
Considering how old we are now.
That's right, yeah. Different world, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, did you ever get any grief off people for riding BMX? You're quite big, so I suppose maybe you didn't really experience as much as some others.
No, I don't. Not that I can remember. Nothing major. More for skating, really. I think.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's so fucking noisy.
Yeah,
probably.
What about? Have you met Aju at this stage in the game, going to South Bank?
Oh,
Phil Dolan, Aju, Lincoln, all those guys. Had you met them?
Lincoln. Do you have red hair?
Yeah, that's it. Lincoln Blacksley. Yeah.
Yeah, I had met them, but they were like more like
older guys.
James is like
okay.
James is a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had met them, and Bisker and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry would have been around that crew as well.
Yeah, that was probably when I first met Jerry.
Okay.
I think maybe the first time I'd met Jerry would have been we were at South Bank. And there was quite a few riders. I remember there being quite a few, and then I don't know who decided we were going to Stockwell, but we went to Stockwell, and then we just. All I can remember is just chasing after Jerry. I'm sure he was like leading the pack.
Yeah,
and that was amazing. Like just bombing through London to Stockwell.
Yeah,
that was wicked. And then riding Stockwell. And that might have been the first time I went to Stockwell.
All right. Yeah. It was great. Yeah.
But it was just normal.
It was just normal grey concrete. Yeah,
concrete.
It's the same as the first time I went. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we ended up going up there quite a bit, like riding London and Stockwell and stuff. It's got that good hip, hasn't it? Out the bar into the
And it was quiet, but back then there was no one there, so
no.
Hard to imagine now.
I remember someone had graffitied on somewhere in the skate park about the Hijack album was coming out.
Oh, okay.
Like the British hip hop Hijack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's whatever. Whenever that
you could find out. Yeah, exactly what year that was. Yeah. I think that because those guys, one of those guys or a couple of them from down that way, right? Stockwell,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Oh,
right.
yeah.
Oh, they might have done
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So lots of trips up London and riding around there, and then with because up Bexley Heath at the Civic Centre, that was where we used to go all the time, and so I would skate as well because there were skaters there. And then that was around that time when they brought boards out with that one layer was like made out of
Slick.
the slick
Yeah,
boards.
okay.
Like New Deal was like massive and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
so like 1990, 91, yeah.
Yeah, and then we used to do night rides. So we'd get the last train up to London, and we'd start in the West End, and then we'd just ride all the way through, and then end up into the city, and ride that, and then get the first train home in the morning. We did that a few times.
What was that, like 5 o'clock in the morning or something?
Yeah, 6 or something.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to New Cross skate park.
Oh, right, cool.
Did you ever go there?
Yeah, I went there, yeah. I went there once. I think.
It was just always fenced up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a thing in Action Bike where it had like skate park list, and it just basically said don't go there because you'll either get your bike nicked or you get chucked out the skate park. Was the thing that it said in the page. So no one went there forever. You know, you could see it, couldn't you, from the train line?
Train, yeah.
It's a major skate park, and then we went like maybe 92-ish, and it was fine. No, we didn't get in any trouble. Rode it for the whole of like Sunday afternoon. Had a good time, left, and then like it went not long after that, like probably 93 or 94, it's gone. But I was amazed at the size of, like, the place was
huge.
Massive. Yeah.
And they had them weird bowls that just sort of was almost like an upside down witch's hat.
They were like pits. Yeah. It was good. We went there when jumping was making a bit of a comeback, and it was really good because you could kind of jump from one bowl to the other, and it had like a slight gradual downslope in some of them.
I remember there was a bit like kind of at the, if you're looking like from the train tracks, there on the far right, there was just like a bit that had a fly out onto the grass.
Okay.
I remember we used to jump that quite a bit, just to flat.
I remember when I rode with Mike Mullen, we rode in there and a few others, but you're the only other person other than that group that I went there with that I noticed rode it. To think that sat there and no one even bothered to try and ride or skate it for all them years.
Yeah, that was like Dino Bar's time when we did that.
Oh,
so
right.
like I wasn't really up to.
How did you know that was there? You just seen it from the train?
Seen it from the train going up
It
the
was
South Bank.
blatantly like right in your face, wasn't it?
You know, another thing that we rode only like once or twice, which is a shame really. I don't know why we didn't ride it more. Was which you couldn't see from the train station. I don't know if you ever rode it, but I think it was Heather Green.
The banks.
The banks.
Yeah, I rode it.
Like you came out
the station.
Yeah, and then it was a curved wall, wasn't it, with banks at the bottom, with benches.
Yeah.
Oh fucking hell!
Yeah,
that was
you're the only other person other than me and Andy Brown and probably two other friends that I know rode that. So me and Scott Mallion went back.
It's just
probably say 8 years after I'd ridden it.
Right.
I was like, oh, I wonder if it's still there. We went back and it's gone. Like,
it's just a wall,
and I was like thinking,
I looked at
maybe I'm in the wrong place. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, maybe I'm in the wrong place. I couldn't believe that was there, and it wasn't like super exposed because it was good back then.
It was brick, wasn't it?
Yeah,
just brick.
Yeah,
like perfect.
Amazing. Yeah.
I remember wall riding over the benches. Like I don't know whether the benches were set into it or whether they were.
I can't remember. I just remember it was quite whippy.
Yeah, curved wall with transitions at the bottom. Yeah,
unreal.
Wicked. Yeah, that was a good spot.
Did you ever ride Thamesmead?
Yeah, because some of the skaters that I'd skate with, they lived in Belvedere.
Oh, okay,
so
right there, yeah.
Belvedere and Thamesmead.
Did you ever see that little, like, it was like a concrete sort of, it was like a skate park, piece of a skate park in Thamesmead. It was in one of the fields.
Oh, I don't know.
Andy Brown took me there as well. And there was also like a curved wall, like a bank to curved wall in one of the estates as well.
Right.
Yeah, he'd ridden around there for years. And we went there once. And he took us to that like, jumping spot, which was like half a skate park resi. And you could kind of jump over it into the grass bank at the back. And the curved bank to wall, yeah. But it was gnarly going there. Like, it was aggro. Like we
Yeah,
went there, we got in
and
shit. Like
Tennessee
it was
back then
terrible.
was-
Yeah. Like we was uncomfortable there.
So I would have just gone to more sort of skate spots because I was getting shown around by skaters, and I would skate there and ride.
Yeah.
Like just.
There was still stuff there like up until recent years. I don't know if it's still there or not, but there was still a few banks and stuff there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was loads of stuff there. Yeah, it was just a concrete.
Yeah,
jungle, wasn't it?
yeah, literally.
Brutalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's all been redone, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of that's not there anymore. Because it was like, do you remember all like the racial stuff that used to go on there in the early 90s? It was like real bad, rife, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we rode there. We used to ride Eltham, Bromley, Orpington, Croydon. Just we'd go loads of places.
But did you ever go to M Zone?
No,
No.
I always
Wow.
remember seeing the adverts in the magazines with or whatever it was.
Yeah, the mutant, yeah.
The mutant. Yeah, but yeah, no, I never went there.
Oh.
So it was just basically back then cycles. I went to OTs in Dartford,
yeah.
on the top of the hill.
Yeah,
It was like a BMX shack,
yeah.
wasn't it, or something?
Was that OT or was that the other one?
Dartford, so yeah, we'd ride Dartford.
If it was
Crayford.
Dartford, it would have been OT, yeah.
Yeah, it was at the top of the hill.
Okay, I don't remember it being a shack, but I went later on, so it might change, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then Young's a couple of times, but just everything would have come from Blackburn Cycles.
Oh, okay. And then, like, so what's like your next stage of progress from there? Like you're like learning stuff now. You're out there, aren't you? You're doing it. As that video. What year is that video? You think 91, 90 or
What's
something?
that cheeky monkey?
Yeah, that's that footage that he's got.
I don't know.
That's probably Lincoln who filmed that, or James, right?
Yeah, I would have been up there.
Yeah.
I think I was with James. Yeah,
Yeah.
that day. I don't know. I don't know. It depends what bike I've got. I don't know what bike
And
it
would
is.
this have been before Ceramic Rabbit jams, or right in that time period?
It would have been around then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe after. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's after.
maybe
So
after.
you think there's already been one or two of them?
It would have been after the first Ceramic Rabbit Jam in Elton. It was after that, but it was before. It would have been before the Bromley one.
Okay. What was the one that you had the crash at?
The Bromley one.
So you went to the Elton one.
Because we rode Bromley all the time at that point, so I was
Oh,
really looking forward to that jam. And Sandy was down.
Yeah,
for
I
it as
remember.
well,
Was Sandy
wasn't
not down for the Elton one?
he? I don't know.
Okay. And what was
I
it
was
like? So the Ceramic Rabbit jams were organised by Tim Goldie.
yeah,
Ceramic Rabbit was his like little brand that he was doing at the time.
yeah,
Which was quite a good brand back
yeah,
then.
that's cool.
And he had like adverts in Ride, and he was quite active, wasn't he?
Yeah,
And what was the jam like? Skate and BMX.
yeah,
It was, yeah.
yeah. There was
And-
like weird obstacles and just
They built stuff for it.
yeah. There was the one at Eltham. I'm sure I might be wrong, but I'm sure there was. It was at the back of a big shop. And then there was two quarter pipes. Well, I say quarter pipes, not big, small, to do wall rides on the wall.
Okay.
And I'm sure there was a bank going into it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I might just be making that up. But I remember, yeah, doing wall rides at that jam, and we
He was making it
just
bigger and
making it
bigger.
bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Who was at that? Can you remember, other than the local guys?
There was skaters. Yeah, there was. Yeah, no, I can't really remember because it was. I would have just kept.
Self to yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I wasn't the most confident people
All right.
back then, really. So I would have just, hung with my mates,
Recluse.
which is pretty much what I've
that
done
way.
over the years
Yeah.
anyway.
And then, like, so the second one in Bromley,
No, the second one was in
Elton, Orpington.
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 I didn't go to that one.
So the second one I went to then, that was
Right.
the Orpington. I thought you did. Didn't you do yourself before that?
No, it was the third one was Bromley, wasn't it?
Okay, so it was the one after.
Yeah.
And that's the one that you jumped the stairs on.
Yeah.
And that was a bad crash, right?
Yeah.
What's to give us the story? Because I remember hearing.
So I had a Holmes then.
Okay, so you've moved forward in the bikes quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that makes sense as to that being the later one. Yeah, because I heard, like, I don't know who went, but I remember I didn't go to that one. I remember people saying, "No, fucking guy had a really bad crash, like his forks broke, blah blah blah." And I just that went around the little tiny scene that was BMX back then. Was like that crash.
There was
like,
loads
resonated.
of people there.
Okay.
It was, from what I can remember, it was pretty packed. Like for back then, it was like amazing how many people were there. And that was the first spot.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing of the day.
That was the first spot. Yeah. And yeah, I wanted a 180, and that's what I wanted to do, and I just jumped him. And then I maybe I did it again, and then third time I did a tabletop, and that was that. Woke up in the ambulance, then went out again and woke up in hospital. My forks just snapped, like right
the
the
crown.
Yeah, like them, whatever them S&M forks were.
Yeah.
And I look back at old photos and I look at my forks and think, oh, they fucking snapped, because they are like.
Oh, they're bent already.
Yeah. And when I looked at them, it had been cracked for ages, because it was like half of it was rust half of it was a clean break. So yeah.
Wow. And what was the outcome? You smashed your teeth, or what happened?
Yeah, I smashed my teeth. They went through my lip. Bent my nose, didn't break it, and just grazed my face.
You bent your nose?
Yeah, it's bent. You see, it's just
I can
bent.
see it, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't break it, just bent it. And that blood stain at the bottom of the stairs was there for months.
I know that crash had a deep. It went in deep with some people, yeah. Did the jam continue? After that, yeah, they just had to carry on.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't there. I just heard it was just like really quiet, and they'd phoned the ambulance. My friend Scott, he'd phoned up my mum, and he said he broke the news by saying, "Dan's had a crash. I think the ambulanceman said he's going to be all right." Well, I was just like, "Oh, what now?" Because she was used to me breaking stuff. So, but yeah, so that was probably the gnarliest crash I've had.
That's what so far, like
at that point. Yeah.
Okay, then, yeah.
I think I'd started breaking things, falling out of trees, like my wrists, and I nearly fractured my neck once and stuff like that. But as far as riding was concerned, I think that was like my first good.
Yeah, that sounded like a bad one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was just.
Yeah, you're just holding on, and then
just holding on.
Yeah. You don't even know it's happened. You hear a noise at best,
Yeah, not even that.
Yeah.
I just remember doing a tabletop, and that was it. Yeah, and then it carried on, and then I think it was just Sandy riding everything. Really,
Okay.
That's what most of the photos were in the magazine.
Yeah.
It was just Sandy doing stuff on all the spots that we rode.
Oh, right.
It's just like, oh, fucking hell.
And how long did that take to recover? Was it?
I was at Rom the following Sunday.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Got out of hospital on Wednesday. They kept me in because I don't know whether the jam was on a Saturday or a Sunday. And then got out of hospital on Wednesday, and then I was riding on Sunday.
No way.
Sunday.
So you bounced back quick.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, with a fucking full face Bell crash helmet on.
I can remember you wearing that somewhere, yeah.
I used to, the vert ramp from Rom, I used to wear it, trying to ride that.
Okay, did you wear that at like one of the backyard jams or something?
Nah.
Okay. I don't know why I remember you wearing that. So, but what about the Ryder Cup? That was after, because you rode the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, that was after. Yeah,
That was after you crashed, yeah?
yeah, because I had
You were Hoffman or something?
Yeah, Hoffman.
Okay.
And at some point, I don't know whether it was after my fork snapped. I don't know when they came out, but I can't remember. But I got that Hoffman
Super Forks.
The Super Forks.
Okay.
I had them at some point, but I don't know whether it was on the Condor or before.
Yeah.
Because that Holmes went through many different colours, like spraying it different colours. I had that for quite a while.
All right.
Just because it was nice and long.
Yeah.
But then after that, I got a Condor. Yeah.
All right. What was that like? Ryder Cup?
Yeah, it was good. We used to go there to Spitalfields, and would it riding then? It must have been riding there then.
It had originally Spitalfields had the rare unit stuff and the vert ramp, and not many people went there. And then
I remember riding
after,
and then after
when it got made like the wooden stuff with Peerless guys, I think built the wooden stuff, and that's when it became like a bit of a.
Okay, so that must.
I'm sure it was Tuesday night. Someone was telling me it was Wednesday night, but yeah, that was good, wasn't it? That was a good scene.
Yeah.
Like you'd go there, you had a big space. It was central. It was undercover. That was really cool. Yeah. The stuff weren't great, but it was still
something to ride.
Game changing.
And at that time, like just ride anything.
Yeah, there was nothing. Yeah.
So, like I probably would have been going to Rom then, definitely. But so that it would only have been Rom.
Yeah.
That I rode as a skate park.
And how early did you start going there?
I don't know. I was thinking about that, and I think the first time I went there, we got the train, and then when I met Matt, which I don't actually know how I met Matt. I think I might have met him at Rom.
Okay.
We used to go all the time, like every Sunday. We'd go to Rom pretty much, and just ride the moguls in the pool, and countless flyouts from the half pipe.
All right. What did you used to do in the pool?
Carve it.
Okay.
Egg grinds and ice picks, and
all right.
so this is a bit
forbidden stuff.
Not then.
yeah, exactly. No, they weren't there then.
Yeah, and I used to love riding that pool. Love it.
You seen Zach ride that pool? Zach Short.
I've seen photos of him, like airing it.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Because it was over vert, isn't it?
Oh, over vert as fuck, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was like getting an ice pick on it and stuff. But yeah, just like. And
that was mostly you and Matt that used to go there.
Yeah, like just. I think at that point there was more people, like, because Matt obviously was part of a different crew.
Where was Matt from?
Near me, I want to say Orpington, a different part, but I could be wrong. Or just somewhere outside Orpington, between Orpington and Bromley, somewhere. I don't really know, because he just always used to come to me in the car.
All right.
And then we'd go.
Yeah.
And that's when we started going up Northampton, like to Radlands.
Oh, all right.
Because I love that skate park.
Yeah.
Right there. And then, but yeah, so Rom first would have been, we'd get the bike there, because we'd ride Liverpool Street on the way there.
Okay.
Like
the stuff outside, the stairs and stuff, yeah.
The double set and stuff.
Yeah.
We'd all ride all around there and get chucked off. And then go to Rom.
Yeah.
Then ride. Yeah. And then we used to go in there in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we would go, if it was raining, we're like, let's just go to Rom, it might stop.
Or it might be dry over there. That's what you used to convince yourself. Did you ever go to Chingford?
No.
Okay.
No. Leon C.
I remember you at Leon C. Yeah. That was around the same time, wasn't
it? Yeah, all that.
Yeah,
So I would have gone to Rom, but not as often if it wasn't for Matt, and then especially like Leon C and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Is that you used to go to Leon C with Matt as well? Car, not a truck. The train station was right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I slept in the train station.
Oh, really?
I think there was a comp there or a jam.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and our tent fell down because there was nowhere to put a tent.
All right.
Because the car park was like metal, not metal.
The car park was holes
Like
in the
grids.
concrete. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, gridded
So the
concrete.
tent, and it rained, and it was just like, oh fuck this, and so we just went to.
I was at that. I
train
would have been at
station.
that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
no
the
doubt.
Ceramic Rabbit. They were sponsored by Ceramic Rabbit. Maybe one of them, or maybe even Tim might have put it on or covered it or something like that. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, my memory.
He had some sort of. It maybe did something for Ride for it, or yeah. I remember. I got a Ceramic Rabbit T-shirt at one of them things, so he must have sponsored it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so it probably was that one.
Yeah, loads of stuff.
So yeah, the Ryder Cup. What was that? Where did you place? Like, who did you ride against?
I was in expert, and I come 8th or 10th.
Okay. How many people were there?
I think it's
Oh,
10.
you 10, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I got my first photo in a magazine from that,
All right.
doing a really nasty bow leg 1 foot kind of table.
Okay.
Yeah.
On what, the metal box thing?
my legs just bent right
What was
up.
it?
It's not even
Invert?
straight. What?
Invert?
No, the first issue
Ride.
of Ride.
Oh, Ride. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which the ceramic jam was covered. The ceramic
Okay.
rabbit jam was covered in. Yeah.
You got that mag?
Yeah.
Have you? I haven't got it. All right, you're going to have to send me the pictures. That's expensive, that one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose it's the first issue.
Yeah,
It's not in very good condition, but I have got it, yeah.
Yeah, good. That's good.
That was
I'm glad
my
you got it.
magazine with my first photo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm keeping that one. Yeah.
And what about like the rest of that weekend was quite good, wasn't it? The Ryder Cup weekend with a vert contest and the flips were being sort of done in the UK for the first time
Yeah.
with
Never been impressed.
DMC and Matt.
Yeah, everyone was flipping around.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you just carried on for it seems like years. Everyone
Yeah.
just trying to do backflips every time. Like, oh, stop with the fucking backflips.
Oh, I remember that being quite good, that contest. Yeah.
Yeah, because Hoffman was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Mirra was there.
Hoffman, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
big.
good.
Everyone in the UK was there. Like all the vert riders were there. Yeah, it was epic.
I remember the like Team Sano being there.
Okay.
They were down there. And I every time I'd rode past them, they'd go, "Go on, Vic!"
Oh, right. I remember that
Because
contest
it was
was
that
busy.
obvious. Yeah.
It was that obvious though. So
Oh,
fair dues.
it's so cringeable.
But yeah, and then the vert final there. I don't know if you remember. It was, I think, everyone was pretty much stretchered off.
Yeah, I
Like
can't
they
remember. I
rode to
remember.
their doom. I think maybe 2 people didn't, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember it was. Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah. Chase Gouin was there as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he stayed at James's.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember he was about for a summer when he was at South Bank and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he stayed at with James for a while.
Okay. Cool. And then so from there we're heading to like 90. We're in 93 really. So that ride came out I think at the beginning of 93. That had that picture of you in it. From when it changed from invert to
93,
ride.
Yeah.
And then like so where'd you go
Yeah,
from
because I
there?
always thought he was 92, and I looked
Yeah,
and it said 93.
Yeah, because it was the start of the new mag, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happens from there? Like, because
Dunno.
93 things changed quite a bit, didn't it, I think. So then, like, that's when Spitalfields had the wooden skate park.
Yeah.
And I'll show you that picture in a minute.
Okay. Cool.
That's when that scene was happening.
Yeah.
Like, so everyone from, say, South London would come up. I say everyone, 3 or 4 people from South London would come up to ride Spitalfields. 3 or 4 people from West London would come up. 3 or 4 people from North, and then there'd be like
Yeah.
a little scene there, and it was cool. A lot of people met there,
Yeah.
and the ramps are all right. To be fair, like I'm a bit harsh on them, but yeah, they were way better than we used to go and have a proper session. Eh?
Yeah, I can't really remember what was there. Was there a mini ramp? There was
a mini ramp later on. There was like there was a real small sort of 4-sided jump box, which was like more of a skate obstacle, but you could jump it
Right.
like pretty decent if you worked at it. It was only about 3 foot tall, but when that's all you got, and it had that wall ride thing at the back.
Okay.
It weren't a wall ride.
It's funny,
really.
I remember I just cannot think of any of the obstacles at
And
all.
it had that hip, which was pretty bad, but a couple of people used to blast that as well. It was like 2 8-foot quarters, about 5 foot high, in the corner on the right.
Okay.
And then they had like maybe some skate blocks at the side. It was good, man. It was a good little circuit.
Well, yeah, I would have just rode what it
Yeah,
was.
whatever was there, yeah. Yeah, if you go Spitalfields now, you can't believe there was a skate park in there.
Pretty big place, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
What is it
massive,
now?
yeah.
Just like a market.
Yeah, it's like full bougie market, designer shops and shit, like
Yeah.
fucking worth billions of pounds. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's probably prime space, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all been pedestrianised at the front as well, so you can't really even recognise it from what it was.
Oh, right.
Because remember, the car park was out the front. So if you basically turn, for us, you go up Bishopsgate, turn left, and then it was like wasteland almost, and Spitalfields was in the middle with this big
Yeah, I
car
remember
park.
there not being much about it.
Yeah, it was a
around
massive car park because it used to be the fruit wholesalers for like
Yeah,
London and surrounding areas.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was quite often just like some homeless dudes with a
Vegan
fire
version of
somewhere.
Smithfields.
Yeah, 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 man. Yeah. So then we're in '93, and I can't. What was that? What happened in '93? Were you riding backyard jams at '93?
Yeah, I started going to the backyard jams when it was the vert ramp. No, not the vert ramp.
Track.
Definitely when it was before the track.
Oh, so the vert ramp and the midi.
The midi.
So
yeah.
you was already okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when it was
So you went to the one with the blue ramp and the red ramp.
definitely. Yeah, I'm sure the vert was still there. Yeah.
That was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember peg stopping it and stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and how I knew about that would have just been from who I rode with.
Yeah.
Being Matt or I don't know who rode. Yeah, like I say, it's all a bit hazy, but I was definitely there for that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, that's a cool one as well. Yeah, that was a
I went to all of them.
that was a good one. That was like the new dawn of like new events. You know.
Yeah, I remember going to quite a few comps, like around the country. Like I think it was probably James really like knowing about them, and I just remember it just always being the same people.
Yeah.
Like wherever we went.
Can you remember going to any others? Like, well, King of Concrete, you probably went there. James
we
used to go
most
there.
of those. Yeah.
What about Birmingham Wheels contest? Did you go there?
I don't know specifics.
Okay.
But I do remember going to other
A
comps.
few about. Yeah.
And remember them just basically being the same people.
Yeah, that's it.
All
Yeah.
the time. And then gradually like building up.
Yeah.
Over the years. Yeah.
And then, so did you ride the '93 backyard jam when Chris Moeller and Keith Treanor came?
Yeah, I think so. I probably would have done.
Okay.
I rode the midi.
All right. Yeah, you might be on that video actually. There might be a trick of you on that video from that contest.
Right. Yeah, I definitely rode it. And I had on my run, because I'd been riding loads, and then I was obviously expert, so we were up first, and then I just stopped. Like I got some weird kind of like muscle thing. I couldn't ride properly. I just basically seized up. That was terrible because I always used to get nervous with comps.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I never really. I don't know why I entered them really. It's just sort of like something just compelled me to do it, even though I was always scared shitless. I mean, at Southsea I'd enter them because it was the only time you could ride the street course without anybody
in the way. Yeah.
and you could get the lines that you wanted because everyone would just be doing normal.
Yeah.
But if you had a different line, it's just like, it's impossible
Yeah, it was
to try and do something.
Did you ever do any good at them contests?
Nah.
No.
No. I'm not.
Yeah, no. But you sometimes you just hit something up and it works. Like
I always used to like the jump box. Used to jump quite a lot, I suppose. But then, like I said, when you said about like influences in the 90s, and then realising that all the Dave Parrott stuff, it was just basically street and jumping.
yeah,
So that's what I did, I suppose. Right.
So
like
ride
Barrack
on,
with his 1 for X.
ride on homeless trash.
Yeah. Yeah, that homeless trash was amazing. Watching that.
Head first had some street on it as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And Dirt Brothers stuff.
Dirt Brothers didn't come out till a bit later, did it?
Was it 91? Was it?
What, their first video? They had a part on the Bully video.
Yeah.
In their first stuff.
Slow Ride.
Yeah. Well, you remember that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Vic Murphy was doing the like 360 foot plants down.
That's
the
it.
steps.
Yeah. He does a lot of stuff in that that's
Yeah.
pretty innovative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't catch on until years.
And
And
I'm
years
sure he
later.
does a. Is that the one that he does a like sprocket down a little rail?
It could be. Yeah. I might have watched that semi-recent.
But on one of them he does like a little, just a
Yeah.
tiny
Yeah.
little rail.
Yeah. I think it is that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to find it. And in '93, are you hanging with James and a few of those guys have dropped off, or are they still going strong? And you're still living in
No, it's like the Bexley Heath scene.
Bexley Heath,
like,
yeah.
went on for years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people would come in and go out, but there would always be a core, which would be James, me, probably Scott, and then the skaters. But the other riders would come in and go out and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but that went on for a long time.
Yeah. Where do you remember where you got that Hoffman bike from? Is it Black Fen? Must be, yeah.
Must have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, when did that when did the Black Fen connection kind of drizzle out?
I don't know. Well, I left there to do. I just had enough of working there. Wanted to do something different, and that's when I started couriering.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I bumped into you when I was couriering. You know,
This is like whoa.
it was winter, and we were both riding down the street. Like, oh, what's going on?
Because I didn't do that for very long. I just pretty much did it in the winter. Like
Okay.
most of the people would just do it in the summer.
Yeah.
But me being me, I suppose, I didn't even really think about it.
That was a couple of years later. That was '95.
Yeah.
So, how did you find that doing that
What couriering?
cycle couriering? Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just finding spots all the time. It's hard work.
Do you think it was dangerous? Too dangerous.
I was street riding,
Fuck.
getting paid for it.
Ah,
What did I do? I think I did it for 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And I think I averaged getting knocked off once a month.
okay, you did pretty good there.
Yeah.
I see. I
But
would.
that was great. I learned how to manual roll my mountain bike, and I learned so much of London that I didn't know.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
We would always go just to South Bank and round that area or the city, and I just found loads of stuff that I never knew. But it was, I'd leave my house at 8 and I'd get home at 8 because
Were you getting the train there or riding there?
I'd ride there, which is
Okay.
about 15 miles. It only take an hour. It wasn't very long.
Yeah.
Then work, and then I'd get the train home because it'd just be beat. And,
Yeah.
I was only getting to ride like once a week
Yeah, you can't. It's really fucking hard on your body. Yeah.
because I was seeing my girlfriend on the Saturday, and then I'd ride on the
Okay.
Sunday. And then
That job was, for me, was just like, I did it for like, I'm not sure, maybe about a year or something.
right,
And it was.
didn't
It
get
was
any
horrendous.
easier.
It was horrendous. Yeah. I used to sometimes I'd go to sleep and dream that I was still at work collecting parcels and delivering parcels, and then I'd wake up and be like, "Shit, that was just a dream. I've got to go and actually do it now." It was fucking horrible, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good scene, is it?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. Well, I did actually quite like it, but it was just super dangerous. And it wasn't even your fault sometimes when it was dangerous. It was just someone
No.
else.
I got knocked out doing that.
Yeah.
I remember jumping off an island. There was like like some of the islands have.
Yeah, the
banks.
launches. Yeah.
Yeah, and I launched off it, and then people picked me up. I was getting picked up, and I was just like, "What?
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the road, just smashed off in the middle of the road.
What? You got hit by someone else, or
No, I don't know what
you
happened.
just ate shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was terrible. Yeah. But before that, so say we go back to 94, you rode the Backyard Jam in 94, right? The dirt jumping.
Yeah, I rode all of them.
You rode.
I rode all of them until it started getting like
big time. Yeah. Okay. So.
And then I just started. It was just like
the one in. I remember. You rode the one where they had the jump from the start gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You rode that one, didn't you? I remember Grotbags. Is that the one you tried to 180 the?
I probably tried to 180 everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 180.
You rode B group, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe B group.
You place? Don't even know.
Don't know. I remember riding when it was a dirt lip and the metal lip, the metal takeoff. I rode it a few times.
Okay.
And tried the chasm once.
Oh, did you? Is it on video?
No, but I've got I don't know whether I didn't have it. I looked through the photos, but there's a photo of me like midway, like my bike's down here and I'm just in here.
Oh, okay.
Like my arms just like fully.
One of your photos?
I think Nick sent it to me.
Okay.
Lord Nick.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good weekends.
Yeah, they were great. It was really cool.
And then, you like, you're getting sort of more recognition now, even though you might not know it. But you're popping up at the Backyard Jam. The commentators know you are. Like, people know you are. When did you start getting sort of like people sort of giving you like the odd T-shirt and stuff like that?
I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything off anyone really until like I got sponsored by Lord.
Oh, okay. Was that your first sponsor?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that was.
And I thought they would. I think it was. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was Andy.
Okay.
Maybe, one of them. And we were at the bands around the street corner, the bandstands and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was with Matt and maybe
Where are we? Southsea?
Yeah,
okay.
Southsea.
Yeah.
Barnard and like Gravesend crew.
Yeah.
And we took a bong and we took a sombrero with us. And so we passed the sombrero and the bong, see?
To disguise it?
Yeah.
All right.
And then I just ripped one, and then the guy came up to me and which was either Andy
or Nick, yeah.
Nick, and saying, "Oh, I can't quite remember like what they said, but yeah, do you want to ride for us? Basically, we give you some stuff because we like the way you ride." And I was just like, what, really? Like, especially after just having fun, and I was like, oh yeah, all right, cool, and then that was how that started.
Was that before you had the cover of the Backyard video? Must have been, right?
Oh yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? I got the cover.
Yeah.
I wasn't in it. It's very. Yeah. I didn't even know. That was with my STA. That was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Around the same time, probably.
Yeah.
You're on an STA.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it must have been around the same time because I don't know why they would have had me on the cover.
Yeah.
Because
was that an Ed photo?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know Ed then?
Not really, no.
Okay.
No.
But you just ride and you got a photo, yeah?
Yeah, it was just a Rom and maybe they all turned up.
They must be, yeah.
Because that's what the Lord said. They said we'd seen you riding the Rom and stuff, and I had no recollection.
All right.
So I was,
Yeah. You just had your head down.
Yeah,
You weren't
just
taking
riding.
anything in.
Yeah. I never even contemplated it, like getting sponsored or anything like that. Just.
Oh, and what was that like? How did that work out? They just sent you down some packages every now and then.
Yeah, and then I'd see them if we went like on a 70s road trip or stuff like that. Yeah.
Did you have anything with your name on it through those guys?
I had I had a t-shirt. Yeah, one t-shirt design. It was kind of a dragon.
Okay.
And then it had. Oh no, I don't think it did have my name on it. Oh, it did it? I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know why, but I thought I'd seen something with your
But
name.
yeah, it was just a dragon, like a Chinese dragon, and then on the back it said Lord. That was like kind of mock, kind of
Chinese restaurant sort of style. Yeah.
But it said Lord. Yeah. It might have said had my name on it. I'm not sure. I've got one. I've still got one of those t-shirts.
All right.
Boy uses it to go to bed in.
Okay. You have to send me a picture of that. And what was the Chinese dragon all about?
I don't know. Just I can't remember when that came out. Like,
was it
I wasn't asked about it.
Oh,
You know,
okay. It just came out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that was obviously the vibe I was giving off.
All right. I thought it might have been from you. Yeah.
I mean, I had done martial arts in the past.
That must be it, right? Yeah.
But I don't really recall ever talking about it.
All right. And then what? Like, that's your first
You have to
sponsor,
ask
yeah.
Andy. Yeah.
And you get on Hoffman after that, or was Hoffman the first bike company, or have we jumped quite far forward?
Yeah. I think I was on with Lord along for quite a few years before I got sponsored by 70s. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, in what is it? In Word, when did that come out?
97, I think.
So I've got a Hoffman in that.
Okay.
The black one.
All right.
My favourite one ever. It was so nice. That
So
one.
on location was, I think, 95.
The long location was like 2 before that.
Yeah. So on location, last resort, Word.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how that worked.
Right.
Yeah. So it's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So probably maybe 96 or something. When did you? So you moved from? You quit cycle couriering. What did you do after that?
Went back to Pizza Hut for 2 years.
Oh yeah. Okay. And what that is when you moved to Hastings? You was working.
No, and then I decided that I was going to move to Hastings because by this time, James was the only person that was riding.
All right.
Like nobody.
There was no
riding.
scene. Yeah.
There was no scene at all. So I was just riding on my own basically. And by that time, I'd been on the 70s trip.
All right.
And you know, me and Matt would always come. We'd always come down to Hastings. Even before the backyard jams, we used to come down to Hastings.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, because there was a riding scene there, wasn't there? So.
Yeah, we just go to the track.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I decided to move there because I already know there was people to ride with.
Yeah.
That I knew.
Yeah. You
Vaguely.
connected with like Boyley, Amos, Stu, Ian,
Yeah.
Fids, like.
So I've
who
known
else is there?
Stu for I've probably known Stu for the longest
Yeah.
because I think one of the early backyard jams, me and Tim stayed in his van. Like that's where we slept.
Okay.
in.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had known Stu for a
Yeah.
long time, but not like super well
Yeah.
for me. And then then so after Pizza Hut, I was like, oh, you know, just being riding centric. Like, what am I going to do? And then decided to move to Hastings, and so I did nights for I don't know how long, maybe like 4 months, 6 months. Just saved up loads of money, and then moved to Hastings. Boom, and then that was that.
Oh, what year? 97?
I was 24.
96.
So it would have been 74, 94.
Okay. Oh, it's earlier than what I thought. Yeah. All right.
No. Yeah. I had my 25th birthday in Hastings.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And who did you move in with?
First, I moved in with Stu and Boyley.
All right.
Whilst I was getting the flat sorted out, and then they lived in Norman Court, where number 10.
Yeah.
But that wasn't there then. Well, it was.
But
how it became.
Yeah.
And then I got one of the bed sit ones at the bottom, flat one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that was that.
And then what did you do for a job when you was in Hastings?
My first job was cleaning the toilets in the college.
Oh, no way.
Because one of the things I wanted to do when I moved there, because I'd worked full time, like since I'd left school, and I just wanted to ride. So I just want a part-time job, get housing benefit.
Yeah.
And just work as little as possible and ride as much as possible.
All right.
And in retrospect, it is a funny place to move to, being a street rider, because it's not great.
Yeah.
But that's the only place where I knew people well enough that I could
do that.
Go to. Yeah. And there'd be people to ride with, regardless of what it was. And I'd been there so often, and been, even with the skaters and stuff. We used, sometimes we go into London to go to clubs and stuff, but a lot of the time we just come down to Hastings and go to the crypt.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just like the same sort of time.
Yeah.
And it'd be cheaper.
Yeah.
So, I was quite familiar with Hastings.
Oh,
right. It well.
So Backyard was still open at this point. 70s wasn't going yet. Well, it was, but it was going through Backyard.
Yeah, the shop was still open.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then so this is around the time you get on Hoffman, I guess, right?
Yeah.
A little bit after this.
No, I think it was before.
Before you got to Hastings?
Oh, I don't know. I remember riding with James on either Hoffman.
Okay. Yeah, but you had that blue. Blue Condor, right?
Not the Condor.
Okay.
It was.
In '95, I assume you still had an STA, because that was what was on the cover of On Location. And that was in. Was there a picture of you in Dig on that?
Maybe
STA
it wasn't
as
before
well?
my 25th birthday. I'm sure it must have been, mate. I don't know.
It's too much fucking weird, man.
So you're riding with those guys, I guess locally, right?
Yeah.
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 You're just taking it in.
Spots.
And do you remember when the 70s popped up? When they got the warehouse? Do you remember the ramps and stuff in the warehouse?
I remember the ramps, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember riding them, but I don't remember I don't know. I wasn't really involved in that all that. Sort of stuff, So.
But you're on Hoffman then, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I
I must have been on Hoffman before I moved to Hastings. Maybe I moved to Hastings later then. Maybe I got that wrong. But because in Word, I wasn't living in Hastings.
Oh, okay.
I'm on Hoffman.
Oh, that's 97 then, yeah.
And then which wasn't really a section, that was just like low footage of me from Northampton.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
And then the next one was like my sort of proper first section, and I met them all in London.
All right.
And I wasn't living in Hastings then.
Okay.
I'm on Hoffman. I'm on the blue one.
And what? Livid was after Word, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the one you're on about.
Yeah.
Where they came here. All right, yeah. It's this footage of you riding like South Bank and gapping them.
Yeah, and some like little rows and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I snapped my cranks and I had to go.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Got the train.
That looked. What was that? That looked very wintry that day. Was that cold that day?
I think so.
No, it weren't.
No.
It looked fucking. I'm sure I remember seeing that footage recent. I watched a couple of your parts recent.
Right.
I think that was one of them. And so when did the brakes come off? Brakes come off around this time. And what was the?
Well, in Word, I had brakes, and so did Amos because I checked.
All right.
And then in Livid, both of us haven't got brakes.
Okay.
But I wasn't in Hastings.
All right.
So I took mine off because of James. James White.
James White, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's flat landing with no brakes.
Yeah, and he resisted it for a while because I think Chase told him about riding without brakes or some.
Yeah.
I think it might have been him. And he was like, "Oh, you should ride without brakes. It's good." I was like, "Oh no, I didn't do it for ages."
Yeah.
And then I think I rode his bike one time. Excuse me. And I was just like, "Yeah, okay, cool. I quite like it actually." And then that was that.
And that was it, yeah, he was
I've
in.
had brakes since.
Wow. Did you think of any other street guys riding with no brakes then, or was it just purely from James?
That was just from James.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I remember he was quite early taking them off. I suppose Amos would have been as well.
Yeah, and he probably. I think he said it was because of James as well that he took his off.
Okay. Because he's from flatland background as
Yeah.
well, isn't
Just to do with balance and control and
he? Yeah.
yeah. It was all about that really. It wasn't
Yeah.
like
I think it makes sense for
or
flatland.
anything like that.
Yeah. And then after that,
It's a bit like riding fixed gear in a way. You without brakes.
Yeah.
It just connects you with the bike more. Like now people they just ride. But
well, it makes you more fluid.
yeah, like judging speed
Yeah.
and just everything just makes you a bit more connected to the bike, really.
And you've not put a brake back on since you took it off?
Nah.
Okay.
One less thing to break,
Yeah,
one less thing to replace as well.
And the video part that this is like now you're getting in the mags and you're getting adverts as well.
Mm.
And I don't know if you had a cover at this point as well. Or was that was after?
I had.
Do you remember the ride cover?
Yeah, it's just like my arse.
Yeah. Grotbags.
Doing the BT rail in Hastings.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had them grey Etnies, the Valleys, were they?
Could have been. Yeah.
So it was them.
Okay. Big shoes, weren't they? They were big ones. Big pants, big shoes.
Well, definitely bigger than these.
Yeah.
No, I think like I don't know, like sort of the Valleys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not like the Valleys that were everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there was another ones. I think I didn't have the ones that were just
The big time one. Yeah.
the big time one. It was a different one, maybe a bit
Oh, okay.
later. I don't know. No, earlier. Maybe.
All right. I'll have a look later on. Yeah. And what was that like? Like getting the footage, getting coverage for like mags and stuff. Was you into that or didn't care or?
I suppose I was psyched.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew I was going to get the cover.
No, most people don't. Yeah.
No, and I was just like, oh yeah, cool. Like, I didn't like the photo, so
Okay,
I wasn't really like.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is
Didn't really know that. Yeah. This is me, but. Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't to do with that. Just like aesthetically, I didn't.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Not because he didn't have my face, or anything like that. But I think I had an interview in that.
In that issue.
Because Grotbags interviewed me one time, and it might have been that. Yeah.
I'll definitely have it. Yeah.
Oh no. I think that's that kind of. I wrote something for that issue, maybe.
All right.
About street riding, some ramblings as
All right.
as I can do. But I don't think that was the one with the interviewing. But
Yeah, we'll find out. What was your favourite picture you had in a mag? Of
What,
yourself?
me?
Of yourself, yeah.
There was one from Radlands. I'm doing they had. Do you remember it used to change all the time, didn't it, up there?
Yeah.
They always used to change it. There was like a flat bank hip, like next to the wall.
Yeah.
And I did an alley-oop from like the bank wall into the other bank. And there was a photo of
360
that.
wall ride kind of.
Yeah. And there's a photo of that, and I always remember liking that. It
Okay.
looked fucking rad.
That was in ride.
No, it might have been Dig.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll try and find it. Yeah.
but that's the only photo that sort of springs to mind.
Well, the only one you like that you had?
I quite like the bunny hopping over the bench on the seafront over a picnic table.
Okay.
That was in Hyde.
I remember that pic, but I don't know what it was in. Yeah.
Because it was like quite big.
Yeah.
And I was on metal bikes at that time. And I had it was just good
yeah,
photo.
yeah.
Nice and simple, nothing.
And the video part that most people, I would say was your main video part was From Love to Hate and Back Again. The one with like the fakey manuals and stuff. That was really early, where people wasn't doing that. There's a few tricks done on like that sort of island, which was just like Curve Island. Was that Hastings? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Hastings. Yeah. Well, yeah, we rode there.
And that was like I remember seeing that and being like, whoa, what the fuck? Like that was stuff that I hadn't seen until that point. And that's the one that people always say, yeah, that's the video part.
Oh, right.
How was that? Like, what was you happy with how that come out? Who filmed it? Like, what was the process? Okay.
Yeah, Ed filmed it. Like, they'd come out every year, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. Just get Ed and go and film some stuff.
Okay, so it was just no different to the others, really.
No, not really.
You didn't even think that was like...
There would always be things I wanted to do, and I always wanted as much footage from Hastings as possible.
Okay.
Because that was
your hometown at the point.
Yeah, and it's great going to other places and stuff, but I don't know, like, something about your everyday stuff that you like.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to like going somewhere.
Yeah, going exotic. Yeah.
Just like so, they generally are all just like sort of everyday riding.
All right.
Really.
Yeah.
Apart from like double kinkers or what have you.
Yeah.
But didn't do that on regular.
Yeah.
But Ed filmed it, and I would be like, I suppose I would say, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, right? And we'd go and have ideas and just go and do it.
Do you remember how long that took to film that? Was that just like occasionally one week, and then next week go somewhere else, and like just locally, Yeah,
because even though I was here and I used to ride with everyone, I was at the same time I was kind of separate from everyone. Like I didn't really do the partying and all that stuff. Like I just keep myself to myself mainly.
Yeah.
It was only when I rode that I was with
those guys.
Yeah,
okay.
Mostly. And Ed's like nice and mellow and like more on my wavelength. And then he would come out with us and just
Yeah.
But
easy.
I don't know. Yeah. It was just stuff that we would try and be like, oh, I wonder if you could do this. And like,
Did any of them tricks take like a lot of tries?
I generally, like I said, it would be like everyday stuff.
Yeah.
So I generally have them down by the time.
That looks fucking difficult, some of that stuff, yeah.
Well, it was just like a whip flow with a 180
Yeah, it was but
it's not. But like when you do the whip flow, you're all like the 180 is just natural progression, isn't it? Really, like. But the backwards manual, like that was just. It was just. Like you couldn't really look where the curve was.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things you had to just keep doing it and get the timing right.
Yeah.
And then go it and then get the pop out.
No, it was impressive, yeah. Especially then, like, I don't remember anyone else doing it, like I say, so,
I had a weird, because my riding's always been, like, kind of small, and, like, everybody else was really big.
Yeah.
Like, they're riding, like, big gaps and big rails and big jumps, and that wasn't really my style, so I was always, like, I don't know, I was always a bit, not negative towards my riding, but I just never really felt like I fitted in. really. Like especially with Hoffman bikes.
Okay, yeah.
Like it was cool. Like I'm
Yeah.
really grateful for it and everything, but I just thought, why am I on Hoffman bikes? Like I'm not a Hoffman bikes rider. Like Bads, but got on like a Hoffman bike rider. And stuff like that. So I was always a bit like kind of.
It wasn't fully comfortable. You mean, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
Oh, where did the Hoffman thing end then? It
When
couldn't have
metal
been that.
started,
Okay.
I was like, oh,
Was you one of the first guys who was on metal?
yeah.
Okay. So you met.
It was Jimmy, Griffin, Lausman, me, and Leland.
Oh, okay.
That was.
I didn't know you was on one of the first guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because as soon as the bike, that Kiz came out over here, like I got one.
All right.
I think I maybe met Jimmy before, or he knew my riding, and I think Ian had said that I wanted to ride for them. It felt like being on Lord again.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it was really small.
Felt more grounded. Yeah.
Small and like just a really like everybody was different.
Yeah.
Like everyone rode different.
Yeah.
It was like in my head. It was like being on Anti-Hero.
Yeah. Well, it was a really good when it first came around. Like it was a really good company, wasn't it? Like all the graphics were good. The bike was good. Like everything about it was fucking great.
Yeah.
And you had that T-shirt as well. Was it Burn Your Ego?
Yeah.
You did the drawing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember we used to sell it in our old shop.
Burn Your Rego, because the spacing was weird.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, they weren't meant to do the writing that I did. But they just did it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how did that come about, the T-shirt and that? Like, what did you have input to anything else over there?
No, just like, do you want a T-shirt?
Just a T-shirt, yeah.
Like, give us a design sort of thing. So, yeah. And then that's like I got that. Basically,
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
There. Yeah. So, yeah, metal bikes.
Metal bikes was cool as fuck, yeah. And that I bought the Spade logo. I think I had two of their shirts, the Spade logo and the lightning bolt I had, yeah.
Yeah, I've still got like a long sleeve just with like the metal bikes normal logo.
The lightning bolt one, yeah.
Long sleeve. And in I think, I don't know, I'd had it like for years. I didn't even know. I had one of my T-shirts, but it was a size small. I don't know why I had that, but yeah, my boy wears it all the time.
Oh, right.
Because it fits him.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
he loves it.
Sounds like it was for a girl if it was a size small. I think, did they make that on a hooded sweat as well, that logo?
Yeah,
I remember that, yeah, great.
Yeah, I love that. It was I love being on metal bikes.
And what was the progression of that? Like you filmed for the Faded Glory video locally, or you went out there?
Both. If they came over,
Okay.
then they would film some
Because Jimmy
bits.
came over, didn't he?
Yeah.
I remember he was filming once when he
And
came.
then when I went out there, they would film as well. Yeah.
And how was that? Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I was always glad to leave America, but I always enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
It was good.
I think I watched that part the other day, maybe.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I quite like that part.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. There's like I'm carving a pole, in like not a round pole, just like a big sort of
A big square, yeah.
And that was after we watched Dogtown and the Z Boys.
All right.
I was just like, look at one pole, just carving about. It was cool. You didn't need to do any tricks or anything, just carving around. Yeah, it was wicked.
Brilliant. And you had like the Metal Bike Steel Props trip as well.
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know if I remember that.
I think that
correctly.
was the second time I went.
Okay.
The first time I went, I just went. Or was that the first time I went? No, the first time I went, broke my arm. And we went, me and Jimmy and me and Griffin, we went to UGP comp.
Okay, yeah.
Comp?
Yeah, Roots, yeah.
Where I broke my elbow.
Oh, you did it at that comp?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you do that?
We got there in the evening and you could ride the street course, and there was like 2 flat banks like at an angle, and then they had a bar going across, like, you know, wood. But it was two bits of coping together, and I was riding it like all that night, like grinding it and ice picking it and what have you. And then the next day, before the comp, Griffin said, "Do you want to come and have a smoke with Pete by the lake?" I'm sure that's what he said, because we were sitting by the lake. And I was like, "Pete, who's Pete?" And he went, "Pete Augustin." I was like, "Oh, fucking hell!" I was like, "All right then." So went and did that, and he was really cool, and like smoked DB, like whatever, that was good. And then went back, then an hour or so later it was the comp. And then, so everyone was riding, and I started my run. It's Dan Price from the UK, riding for metal bikes. I went up the ramp, grind, what I've been doing like a million times the night before, and I think my dropout must have just got stuck in between. And I just went flying across the road and just fell off the end. And just slammed.
Just landed on your elbow.
Dan Price from the UK.
That was it. One
landed trick. And I, just snapped the end off my elbow.
And so how did you get that fixed? In the US, or you had to fly back?
Yeah, I got it fixed in the US. And that was the only time my mum made me get insurance. Was the first time I went to America.
Yeah.
And the insurance was no good. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, going into the hospital, you walk into a bank first, essentially.
Yeah.
And then I had this thing that they were like, "Oh, I don't know about that, but it needs to be fixed," or like what have you. And then so I had surgery, and I got pins in there, like, and then that was all good. And then I lost my passport on the way back to Jimmy's, driving back to Kentucky, and then totally forgot about it. All good, right? And then I kept getting letters through the post for probably 2 or 3 years until they gave up.
For how much?
Oh, like thousands.
How many thousands? Hundreds of thousands, or
I don't know.
tens of thousands?
Tens of thousands, I think.
Forgot about it.
And then they just gave up in the end.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah, but yeah. So that was. I got a photo of me in my cast, like with the rail. It's high. It's like taller than me. Like, way up there. But yeah, that sucked. So I went to the hospital, and then the comp carried on and what have you. And then I can't remember who gave me a lift back from the hospital, but someone did. And then I went to a bar, and I walked into the bar where the after party was going on. And then the first person to greet me, like coming in the door, was Pete Augustin. He was like, "Oh, man, how's your arm?" and stuff like that. And I was just like, "Yes, that's really cool." So, and Vic Murphy was there as well.
Oh, okay. Did you meet him?
No.
No. Okay.
I didn't want him.
Really?
Yeah, in case he was a dick. And it would really ruin everything.
I
So I took a photo of him.
He had pictures from that contest, didn't
Right.
he? Yeah. 1-footed foot plant sort of table thing, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
I've got pictures of both of those guys.
I've got a picture of him doing that, but it's about this big in the middle of the photo. Yeah, so that was the first time I went and just rode Louisville.
And with the props thing, was it? What was it? That was it like a metal bikes tour? Who filmed that, Stu?
No. Oh yeah, because it was. Oh yeah, on props. Yeah, because I was thinking there was an article in BMX Plus or.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was some photos. I got like a nice 1 foot.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like probably. Yeah, I like that photo.
On what?
At a skate park somewhere, like just a flat bank hip. Nice time. Flat banks.
You got that photo, yeah?
Somewhere, yeah.
Okay. I definitely won't have that one.
And I've got my green metal bikes, the green Kids.
Okay. Is that? Did you ride the Kids? Only the Kids? Or?
No, because then I think Lausman had a model.
Did they have a Burma or something?
A Burma.
Oh, that was his one, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah,
because the Kids, it looked out of date really quick because
because the back end
bikes were
was really
moving
so long,
fast, weren't they? Yeah, and the dropout was huge and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think the Burma looked really up to date once that came out, and the kids looked like kind of faded out a bit. And I think they might have made something else as well after that.
Yeah, it must have been riding burners.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a little bit longer as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all the props trips were good.
Well, that was it Dalecki or was it?
I think you might have taken the photos.
Yeah, Dalecki came on that trip. That's when I
Alright.
first met Dalecki.
All right.
And then, yeah, he fucking cool as. And we were just all in a, a rental van, like for moving stuff.
All
And
right.
we just had all mattresses
Flatbed
in,
van. Yeah.
just loads of mattresses in the back, and well, it's on the it's on the thing, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, and then where did we go? I can't remember. Just got in the van and got out. It was just still.
Was that a good trip? Who was on that?
Yeah.
Lausman,
Yeah,
Jimmy,
Lausman, Griffin was
Ryan.
then, but was gone.
Ryan Metro, maybe.
Yeah, Metro and Seth.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think he was on it as well. And obviously Leland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and guy with the dreads. What's his name? Brad?
Brad Josar,
No.
not the guy from PA, no.
No, he was on it.
Okay.
But there was another guy as well. I'm not sure whether he rode from it or he just came along. He had long dreads tied
I
back.
can't remember who that was. Not Wiz.
No, not white guy. Fuck, what was his name? I don't know. Useless
Oh.
with names.
And that was what, fly out there, do the trip, fly back. Did you stay extended or?
No, yeah, hang out in Louisville for a bit,
Oh,
then we
okay.
went on the trip, and then like hang out a bit, and then
Yeah.
went back.
Oh, cool. And what was you doing for work at this stage?
I think by then I was at Trinity.
Okay, you was at the health food shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool because it was workers' cooperative, so I could
Okay.
get away with a lot of,
A lot of time off,
if
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to. You know, as long as everyone agreed it was cool.
Oh,
So yeah, I was really fortunate being there for so long.
yeah.
It was good.
And what was like? How did metal bikes like continue on for you? Like, did you quit riding
I just
whilst metal
quit.
bikes were still going?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
didn't know.
said,
What was that all about?
I just felt like I wasn't progressing, and I was just really down on my riding. Like it was, like not because it was changing. This is all in retrospect anyway, but yeah, I was just really down on the riding and on my riding, and like thinking, I never thought that I was like good enough to be sponsored, and never thought like what the tricks that I was doing were good enough, and
Yeah.
like I went through like a big like stage of that, and then that's when I started like doing Aikido,
Okay.
and then Aikido became like, okay, I can do this. This is something I can learn, get good at. Like it's got like flow in it, and like all the things that I enjoyed from riding, like physical activity, like and weapons was good. And so I just thought, right, I don't want to just like have sponsors and not do anything.
Yeah.
So I just stop it, just quit.
You quit riding, or you just quit the sponsors?
No, just quit sponsors.
Okay.
And I think some of the footage in the number 10 video I was like, I quit all my sponsors, and then I just sort of like gradually stopped riding, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the footage in the number 10 is, yeah. Because I took my pegs off as well.
All
Then,
right.
That's when I took my pegs off. Like in the road forms. There's a road forms.
Mega tour.
Mega tour. Yeah, that's it. I didn't have pegs in that.
Okay.
And I completely forgotten I was on that.
I'd forgotten that even existed, Megatour, yeah.
Everyone was going, somebody was going, oh, do you remember when we was at, I can't remember who it was, but they were going, do you remember when we was at Van Homan's house, like the party? I was like, what are you talking about? No. Because that was the third time I went to America, and all I remembered from that trip was going to New York, and riding street in New York. That was like the ultimate highlight for me. That's all I remembered. I kept thinking, why were we in New York? And it was because of that. And then I think Caleb lent me the video of it, which I've still got. I should probably give it back to him, of that mega tour. And it was just like
you can't
totally
remember.
Completely forgotten all about this. Yeah. But yeah, so I just faded out and just really.
What do you think? Looking back on that, do you think that was overthinking, or would you do the same thing now?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be sponsored.
Okay.
No.
Why not? Just feel freer without it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do what you want when you want.
Yeah. But you could do. Most people do that anyway. But
I know, but
I think it's only pressure you put on yourself for the most part.
It is, and then it's just like that. I didn't like being known.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't care about it. Yeah.
No, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather just
do whatever you want to do, and not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And that was good. Yeah, it was hard going into Aikido though, because it was like once a week at a certain time. You know, it was like quite structured, and BMX is not that.
Yeah.
And so that was quite difficult. But then gradually started getting more lessons, and then I did that for like 7 years.
All right.
7, 8 years.
And what is that? Well, like weapon stuff.
Yeah, swordsmanship, like a Joe, which is like a broomstick essentially.
All right.
But hard.
Yeah.
And then just open hand stuff. I mean, completely useless in real combat situations, I should imagine. But it's great. Like when you get a technique like the open hand stuff, and without the weapons, and you are actually using their weight to move them. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
It didn't happen very often, but it's
You still do it?
Nah.
Where did you go into yoga from that or something?
No, I was doing yoga already.
Okay.
I had that interview, didn't I?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, with the poses and stuff.
Yeah. No.
You still do that?
I don't do it as yoga. I still stretch.
Okay.
Yeah. Like being tall, it's like quite important to keep everything good. Otherwise, you just end up.
And did you quit like BMX riding at all, or did you always ride but just not?
No, didn't touch it for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then, so how did you get back into it?
My kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When they're like Robin, she had a bike. You know, obviously, like from when she was really young, just showing her skate videos and bike videos, and like, you can do this. Like, doesn't matter. Like, just showing her everything. Like, she can do that. And then she got in, like, riding the bike, and then Jesse started getting a bit bigger, and he got a little bike, so I'd just take him out, and so I'd dust off, like literally dust off the metal bike, and then and then that's how it started. Just snowballed from there, really. And I was just like, oh, I like this.
It came back.
This is really cool. Like just doing 180s.
Yeah. Yeah, no pressure on yourself to do anything.
Nah, like it's all gone.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then, but what year was this that you came back into it?
Well, Jesse's just turned 12, and he was probably like 3, maybe.
Okay.
So like 9.
2012 or something.
I don't know.
And how long had you like not?
No, he was born in 2012, so yeah, it was like 2016 maybe.
Oh, right.
15, 16.
And how long? What did you do? 10 years away or something?
Yeah,
or close to. Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did that, and then I did music. I was in a band for a while and did gigs and stuff.
All right.
And then that's when after that I got into.
Were you playing bass again?
Yeah,
What was the music?
kind of like sort of psych rock,
Oh yeah.
but like getting a bit heavy as well.
What were they called?
Sort of like if you mixed Cream and Nirvana.
All right.
And I was really into Earthless and stuff like that. We were called 1,000 Tons.
Okay.
We did gigs like in London.
So can you check you out on the internet?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Not on YouTube, on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. Okay.
I think if it's still up there. I
Yeah.
don't
No
know.
worries. Sure you find something. Yeah.
But yeah.
And then you got back into it, and who was the riding crew that you was going out with when you got back into it?
Oh, Amos, do you want to ride? just Amos really.
Yeah.
And Bomber, and then Zach, like Gat.
Zach Gat, yeah.
And then Swifty. Yeah, just riding for them lot basically.
Yeah.
And
The
then
same again, street stuff, yeah.
and the skate park, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I want to ride. I want to ride street.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in the skate park.
All right.
I can't stand that skate park, either of them.
Okay.
So it's got a really weird vibe at the Boyley Park. It's just, I don't know whether it's because it's on the edge of the cliff and it's just really windy there all the time. But it's just, if you get a good session going on, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's just got a really weird vibe. But at first, I just started going out on my own.
Yeah.
It was just on my own. But then that gradually turned into
That moved on. Yeah. And you still ride. Obviously, you're still riding now. Like.
Yeah. Well, I did stop again.
Oh, you stopped again, yeah?
Yeah, but that was weird. I don't really know why. I was going uptown a lot, or up here, and then like with Dan Hartley, like Metal Pegs.
Oh yeah,
and all that. And then I think what must have been like between like 44 and 40. I don't know, like 40, like the older side of the 40s.
Yeah.
And I'd come up and we would just ride around all day, and in the end I just couldn't handle it anymore. Like, because I'd ride Saturday and Sunday I'd just be fucked.
Wiped out.
Like,
Yeah.
I just can't do this. And then COVID came, and then I don't know why we got into riding fixed gear, like some
All right.
of us, and I did that for ages on the road, which was good because the roads were empty.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know why I stopped riding. I don't know what. I've always had this thing like I'm too old to ride. I look stupid. Like I think there was a bit of that as well. Like like I'm nearly 50. Like, and I really hate like saying that, like admitting it. But, But I think that's what it was. Like as well, there was like a few different things like.
That's fucking interesting.
And like being too old to do it.
You went from like being a kid with loads of pressure to not ride a BMX when you were really young. Went all the way through that and then thought I'm too old for this. By the time you're like nearly 50 or whatever.
Yeah. And then why I started riding again was Jesse's red carded the football, thank God. And then because he was playing goalie for a team. I think he was like going in his rebelling phase. He's like me, when he gets into something,
he's right in there.
He's in there, and that was that. And then he's got back into skating. He's just got a new setup for his birthday, and which is really expensive these days. Blimey! Like
How much setup?
Well, just the board, the trucks, and the wheels was like over 150 quid.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god, I had to skate to afford that, like £70 decks. But anyway. And then I read on the ride on
page.
Yeah. I read one of the articles on there, and it was like people like my age and older, like saying about I was just like, yeah, fuck it. Why am I thinking like that? Like it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like societal pressure. It just like creeps in there. Like in a weird way, But I read it, I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, like, because I watched the video comp.
Okay.
Like last year's one. And I
Yeah.
was going to do it this year, but I'm like, oh, it's a comp. I'm not going to do it. But I'm filming something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but well, trying to anyway. but I read the articles on there, and yeah, and one of the guys, I think he just said like any crash could be it, like because I think this guy was like nearer 60.
Yeah.
You know, and like you know, as you know, like when you get older, your body heals fast and good. And I just thought, oh yeah, fuck it, like I'm gonna be 50 next year. Like I just turned 50. Like I'm just fuck it. I like riding. Like I've always come back to it.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's what somebody else said in there as well. Like you know, if you rode it for like a long period of time, like you're a BMXer.
Yeah.
Like it's just in there.
It's
I think
inside,
it's just like how
yeah.
my brain's wired.
It's inside, yeah.
I might not even like it. It's just like the wiring in my brain.
No, I think, yeah, I agree with that statement that it doesn't go away. Especially if you've done it like for as long and to a level like what you've done it, you keep going back.
Yeah.
So you may as well just not bother stopping.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Just
Because
fuck it.
it keeps
Okay.
getting harder.
Right
Or
then.
if you keep going, like stopping, it gets harder each time you
Yeah.
return. Like you know that from just going through a winter.
Well, I feel I'm riding. I feel like my riding now is like the best it's ever been.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like, just yeah. I don't
And
know.
how long have you been back on it this time?
Well, the COVID. Yeah, I probably like about a year. I've been
Solid.
Not
yeah.
even a year. I don't think it's even been a year really.
Okay.
I don't know. Time just goes so quick, doesn't it? But yeah, it could be like six months maybe.
All right. I'm not.
But when I was before the COVID, that riding, that was been my best riding. Like, because I wanted to, like, I was always like, I mean, as people are, like, quite American centric. But I miss the rise of like the NSF and
The
all
UK
that,
stuff.
the
Yeah.
UK scene. I missed all of that.
Yeah.
And so when I started again, I checked it all out, and I got Marv's video and like Clarky's stuff, and like all that. Like, and I was just like, yes, this is fucking
that's it. Yeah.
This didn't really exist
Yeah.
over here when I was riding. If it did,
Yeah.
like I went up to see Clarky, like, and I hung out there for a weekend, and he filmed, and I got on the Strange Ways 4.
Okay.
And that, like, I'm like, is that me? Like, it's just like, that looks so fucking good. And I don't know whether it's like his filming or whatever, like, make it look so good. But, like, I just, like, was super psyched on that. It's not like many tricks. Well, there's no tricks, really. Yeah, and, like, Fathead was up there and...
But I don't.
just
Those little scenes wouldn't have happened unless that stuff came before it, like what you guys were doing before it. Like it's an evolution of that stuff. I know that they look to the US, but there's a lot of influence in there. I think from the UK stuff that was going on here as well as the US stuff. That's the reason why these things happen. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a shame that I missed it.
You had to. Yeah.
Like, because when coming back to it, it was just like, oh yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I wasn't riding, like going to see Amos, and I don't know whether it was like the NSF people or there was like some riders down, and they were at his house. And Amos is like good at hyping things up anyway.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, these dudes love you, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know, hello. and he's like, oh yeah, it's just like making it out like whatever. But yeah, I have like heard that I was an influence.
Yeah. No.
But it just because I was always down on my riding and it didn't seem like everybody else's. Like I always find that like quite hard to believe. But like I was doing lines. Like no one was doing lines it was just trick.
Where did the idea for lines come from? Skateboarding, or
I suppose so,
Vic,
yeah.
Vic Murphy used to do lines.
Yeah.
In
they
them
did.
early videos, if you
Yeah.
watch, he's doing lines through them car parks.
Yeah, and that's what P. Augustin said. I've heard him say in interviews. You know, when they'd go out riding and they'd ride and just hit stuff on the way. So yeah, I suppose that and public domain.
Yeah, because I know that skating always, it was a little bit more advanced, Or
It shows consistency as well. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
You know, if you can do a line,
and it just looks fun.
but not if you take like 3 hours to film a line and just like
3 weeks sometimes. These guys,
it's- that's a lie, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
It's like
not,
a-
but
It's like a fluke.
roll the dice so many times you get a 6.
Yeah.
Like what do you think of like the Olympic BMX stuff? Because that's going on at the minute. Obviously, I think I know what you think of it, but can you word it or just? We'll tune it, all right. And
But I've always thought of that riding, like even when.
so you didn't like
backflips came out.
backflips from the start, even the first one, like. Okay.
No,
I'm personally not that much of a fan of them either, to be honest. But the first few, I was pretty much like,
on vert, like seeing
Yeah.
Hoffman do it on vert,
Yeah.
great. But over a fun box, no.
yeah.
Well, right.
So why do you think that? I'll tell you why I think it in a minute. But
Because it's not my vision of riding.
okay,
It's starting to go into. It's like circus tricks.
something else.
Like
So for me, it's like, well, the backflip already existed. Now you're doing a backflip with something attached to you, and it's still a backflip.
maybe
That's my like. That's how I've ended up looking at it. Like,
so like people do backflips in gymnastics, me.
yeah,
And then you go up a ramp and lean backwards.
yeah.
And then you do a backflip.
It's still a backflip. But then you could say the same thing for spinning round.
Yeah.
But for some reason, a 360 to me is like one of the ultimate moves on a BMX.
As long as it's done right.
As long as it's not done 3 times. There's a normal 360,
Yeah.
So there's kind of a flaw to my thought process there. But yeah, that's how I think. I was like, man, it's kind of gymnastics. That's
I never really thought about it like that, even
Yeah.
though I did do gymnastics. I never really thought about it like that. I just thought. But yeah, seeing Hoffman do it on vert, that's
Yeah.
fucking ballsy.
And what was the other thing I wanted to ask you was, I've got 2 more. So, what do you think the best era of BMX was,
Yeah.
personally?
What, for myself or in general?
For yourself, not your own riding, but for yourself as the inspiration coming back. Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose. Well, I kind of feel like my riding's in 2 halves. So I would have to say like the early 90s, like, because that's what influenced my riding.
Yeah.
So that's, and especially when I watched Trash the other day, and Clowns Full of Hate was just like kind of like a compilation video of like all the things that was going on then. But then watching Trash, and then Nowhere Fast, and all the others, like it just brought back so many like not happy memories. It's hard to describe it, like, but I was just like, oh my god, like I remember that, but I remember it with a feeling of like, wanting to go and learn it and stuff like that. So I'd have to say, then. But then coming back, just like I don't know what time it would be. It's just like that's like I'm not really fussed about American riding anymore. I just like the UK street scene.
Yeah.
Some of the UK street scene, like it's just perfect. Like it's just like what Clarky does. And
it got. You can tell where it's from. you know, them videos, and then a lot of the people in them, you can kind of tell, oh, that's Clarky's thing by by just looking at it.
Yeah, and they're scene videos.
Exactly. That you can.
That's what I've come to like even with skating, scene videos.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
better.
You can tell it's a Philadelphia, or
Yeah.
you know, like you can tell New York and like, you know, obviously California. You can tell like where they're from.
And James Newrick, like I really like his little videos.
Yeah.
Shame they're on Vimeo because I can only watch that on my phone.
Okay.
But
no, that's what I like about them. It's like, because you know, you could always do it in trails. You'd be like, oh, them trails are there. They're there. You can kind of tell by the landscape. But now you can tell where the way the people look, what they're doing, and the landscape as well in street. But you couldn't really do that before. It was like all just a jumbled mishmash.
Yeah.
You know, but that's progression, I guess.
But the way they ride street, you know, is like
it's stripped down, isn't it?
It's stripped down and it's real. It's not stunt riding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not on a roof, like going. Yeah. No, I totally agree, because a lot of the street riding, it's not street riding really. It's stunts done by. I think they're BMX guys, but they're like more. They're more skate park guys that are just doing something on a roof into like a fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy what they're doing, but it's not like something you can. Oh, there's one of them there. It's like seeped out.
Yeah.
It's a performance almost, you know, like.
Yeah, almost. It's not. Yeah, it's not. Well, you know, I can't speak for everyone, obviously, because I don't know like people's scenes and stuff. But like what you see on like a company video and stuff, obviously they travel around and stuff. But it's like all, I don't know. I can't. It's hard to explain, but just what Clarky does and does, like it's you know, it's like 90 East and like Early Animal. It's just Early Animal was, I suppose, was almost a scene video in a way.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's, to me, like when I saw Sandy's video the other year, it was last year or the year before, and it was they were riding stuff that I wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
I would walk past, you know, and to think that I've been riding a BMX for that long and I wouldn't even notice that they're riding stuff that just don't look like you could ride it. Like they're fitting in just tiny little gaps that like at 20 mph, and if you get it wrong, you're going to eat shit. Like, but it's stuff that you don't notice. That was what I made like of that video.
Creative, being creative, isn't it? In the environment.
Yeah, I thought that was really impressive.
As opposed to just like going to a different country and doing essentially the same things on the handrail. A different colour. It's a different colour handrail or whatever. Different brick, like. Yeah.
Which is cool as well, but it's like it's not.
It is cool,
it's not. But it's not as cool as that. Yeah, for me anyway.
I don't know. Good.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's. I'm good unless you've got some more you want to. You can do it. We can go any which way you want. I don't mind.
I don't know. I think we've probably covered everything.
No, there's some good stuff in there. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We've got a Patreon page, so if you could show us any support, we'd be most grateful. The link's below. A lot of work goes into these shows, so anything you could do would be much appreciated. Thank you.